I remember as well. It was like something out of a feckin' comedy, because I swear this guy, I don't know how it happened, but I like get to my gate. I'm traveling alone and I have my ticket, sit down, I'm just sitting there. Two guys start talking to me. Just I'd been doing a survey, so they walked back and I was like, oh, I'm not in your seat, am I? Because they had left their bags there, and they were like, no, and they started talking to me. One guy was Irish and one guy was Jamaican, and we were chatting away for a while, and then it became increasingly obvious that my stomach hurt on plane. My stomach hurt too. That the Irish guy was completely drunk, like wasted, and he was like, I don't know, late 40s. And then we were finally boarding after about 25 minutes talking to him, and he was just like, he was so gone. He was so gone. And then he was like, where are you sitting, Kevin? And I was like, I'm not sure. And then I took a look, and the Jamaican fella was like, oh, I'm in 35C, we'll say. And I went, I'm in 14B. And then the Irish guy's like, would you look at that, you're right next to me. And I was like, yeah, jeez, we'd be chatting all flight. And then he was like, yeah, jeez, we'll get on there now. I was like, wait, no, you're actually next to me. And he's like, yeah, I'm right next to you. I was like, oh my god, what are the odds of being right next to him? I thought he was joking, like, I didn't think he was being serious. And this wasn't in Ireland, by the way. This was, where was I? I was in London, Gatwick, flying to Norway. So like the chances of being next to another Irish person who was wasted, I was just like, oh my god. And then we get into the plane, and of course he starts kicking up a fuss, and like he's not getting angry, but he's being so obnoxious to everyone, and even like a guy rushing to get his thing in, and he was like, jeez, would you look at that, Kevin? Oh, sure you're not going anywhere anytime soon, are you? And I was like, oh my god, they're gonna think he's my dad, because we're like the only two Irish people on the plane. and he's turning to me like he knows me all my life, and he starts talking about his birthday and all this. And like at takeoff, when you're supposed to be like, you know, gripping your seat and like ready for the impending fear, and he had told me about gifts he bought for his wife. And he was like, oh, I bought her 2 bottles of wine, so she'll be happy out. And then I just hear like a dunk. He just gets the bottle, and he's like, like hiding it from the stewardess. Oh my god. And then finally, after about 20 minutes of talking, he's like, oh, I'll bother the other person. So he turns over, and the person had a book and headphones on, and he starts going like, like into her face. And she took it out and started talking. I was like, now's my chance. And I just went limp in the seat, and I could even hear him as he turned back. He's like, Kevin. I was just like, just gone. And eventually he just stopped, and I was gone. I pretended to be asleep for like an hour, and then I finally opened my eyes, because I can't sleep on planes because it makes me so anxious. And I opened my eyes for like a second, and I'm like, I'll just check the time. And I try on my phone. He's like, you had a bit of a sleep there, did you? I was like, oh my god, another 20 minutes. And it just goes off again, just chatting about everything and nothing at the same time somehow. And he was telling me about how at his birthday party, because he'd already been talking about his birthday and I could come and all this kind of thing, which didn't make any sense because like I was going to Norway for like a week. But he started saying like how dangerous the landing procedure was on on landing. He was like, you know, it's the most dangerous part of the flight, don't you? And I'm just like, not a great time to be telling me that, dude. It's like, oh yeah, sorry. And the thing is, not only was it through the plane, all through passport control, he came with me, he was my buddy, and I finally lost him going through there. I got through and I bolted, and I thought I was ahead of him, so I was like, grand. Started walking along, wheeling my bag behind me, and he literally emerges from behind a pole, like a literal like column, and he like came out and he just said, oh, there you are. He had actually been like waiting for me. Oh, and he went all the way out into arrivals and everything, the whole way. I was just like, oh, I was gonna be like, oh, should I look for cameras at this point? When he pulled out the wine bottle and you heard the cork, I was just like, oh my god, this can't be real. Because of course they're all gonna think I'm like related to him because, you know, the accent and all that. Show respect to your dad. Yeah, that was one of the weird ones. I always get put next to I was gonna say strange people, but no, like-minded people.